Hello again, welcome back to Barcelona, and for the notebook for day 3 of this first Barcelona test. And as I trailed yesterday, we are going to do a thing called Meet the Driver. We're probably not going to do this with many drivers, but since Carlos Sainz Jr. was announced after we sort of went off air with the last F1 show of the year, we didn't really get to know him in any way. So, well, I don't know much about him. You might know much about him either. But, well, let's go and meet him and find out a bit more. Interesting day so far. Maldonado's quickest on the super soft. Verstappen second on the super soft. Lewis Hamilton's third on the medium. And Vettel is fourth on the medium. So just come in here. Hello. Did you know I was... Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready.
We are.
We can go.
Excellent. I didn't actually come in and...
It's been waiting for you for the last, like, 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I've been outside. We've been getting a white balance. But everything is good now.
Yeah.
Should we begin, Tabitha? Hello. How are you? All right, I'm Ted.
Nice to meet you, Ted.
Well, nice to meet you. Should we sit down? Where do you want me to go? Normally, we sort of sort this out, but I thought I'd... well, for whatever reason, we didn't. So I've just come in here and we haven't actually sorted it out. I did make sure that he was actually in here, but... Simon, you're going to sit down. Excellent. We don't have a tripod or anything. Now, Carlos Sainz Jr., but you don't like to be called Junior, so you're like Indiana Jones in that.
a bit like Indiana Jones. I think Junior was good for when I was obviously in go-karting and maybe in lower single-seater categories, but I don't think there's been any other Carlos Sainz in Formula 1, so why calling me Junior?
Okay. So what, if we call you Carlos, or what, do you have a nickname that you like to be called?
You're actually going to laugh. I like when you call me Carlos because it's my name, but you know my closest friends, they call me Chili. I don't know why, but they call me Chili.
Chili, okay. So not Carlito or anything like that?
Probably my family members, you know, they've always seen me like the small kid and they call me Carlito or Carletes or these kind of names. But yeah, you can also, if you feel confident one day, call me like that.
Chili Sainz, I like it. Okay, good. Now listen, people will know, and forgive me because I know idiot journalists like me are always going to say throughout the year the whole father question.
Okay.
It's a very boring thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm interested in is why, when you saw your dad winning championships and, you know, iconic rally driver, did you not think, wow, I want to be like my dad and swerve a car, and why you wanted to make a car not do that and just go and stop and, you know, clean lines, and why?
Well, I actually didn't see my dad win a world championship. I was born in 1994 and he won.
Oh, you're so young. The bless of youth.
And he won in 1990 and 1992. I obviously grew up while he was doing a World Rally Championship, but you need to think that the World Rally Championship has never been on TV. And when you're a kid, you just watch TV or read books or go to school. And obviously, my dad was away something like 250 to 300 days out of home. I didn't know my dad that much until suddenly in 2004, he retired, and they did him like a massive like a goodbye in Spain, in the city center of Madrid. They closed all the city for him to do spins and joke around with the Citroën World Rally car. Suddenly there I realized who my dad was and how big he was. But unfortunately by that time I've already watched too many Formula 1 races and I already fallen in love with Formula 1.
Okay, interesting. Because, you know, it was King Carlos, wasn't it? I mean, that was the joke about King Carlos, Rey Juan Carlos, and it was King Carlos was your dad.
Exactly, he was big, and I didn't know until so late. And you know, by that time, unfortunately, I already taken my decision, and I already had a dream set that was Formula 1. But I suddenly realized who my dad was, and it gave me good satisfaction and a bit of a big impression.
Okay, so let's rewind 1 year. You had the junior formula and everything's going well. You won Formula Renault World Series 3.5. How significant was that win?
Well, I came into 2014 season like a win it or win it. Why? Because 2013 was not a great year for me. It was quite actually a difficult year, and Red Bull gave me a last chance. And I knew 2014, if I wanted to become a Formula One driver, I had to win that championship. I did it. I put myself in a position to win the championship, and I finally achieved it at the end of the year. And this helped Red Bull to take the decision of putting me in a Formula One car.
Okay. So how did that decision be finalised? Because where we left the season was that, you know, we didn't know. Jean-Eric Vergne was still being thought about because maybe they wanted one experienced driver with Max. But then you tested for Red Bull Racing, didn't you? And that seemed to be the clincher. They saw something in you that secured the drive. Is that the truth?
Yeah, it's a bit like that for sure. I mean, Red Bull was in a point that they didn't know what to do. If Jeff should obviously be a teammate of Max, or it would be me. And suddenly I knew going into the Abu Dhabi test, I needed to show them professionalism, experience, and determination, and good work, you know, and show them that me with maybe no experience in F1, I'm still a professional driver, and I'm still can bring development into the car and give good feedback. Finally, I did that in the Abu Dhabi test. I completed 100 laps. I gave them valuable feedback, and then I think is when they realized, okay, this guy has done a step forward in maturity. He's a much complete driver. We can put him in a Formula One car.
And how's it gone so far in the Formula One car?
So far, it's great. I'm living the dream, as you say, no? It's really a nice feeling. I mean, I'm enjoying every single moment of the time I have on the car. Maybe days like this that I'm not in the car, you don't enjoy them so much, but you're still with a smile on the face because it's your job, you know. I'm a Formula One driver. I'm doing this kind of interviews, and I still enjoy because I'm just doing what I've been dreaming for my whole life.
Okay, and what's the plans? Just check how we're doing. In terms of, you know what's expected of you with the young driver program. Buemi, Alguersuari, Scott Speed, you know, Bourdais. You know the history of what happens if you don't deliver. Do you even think about that, or do you just think, look at Kvyat, look at Ricciardo?
You think, to be honest, more about the cases of Kvyat and Ricciardo. Why? Because at the moment I don't have any reason to think, why shouldn't I be like them? I mean, I'm in a really good moment of my career. I've just won a championship like World Series, and in a way that no one has won it until now. You know, being the youngest ever, record of victories. You know, I feel confident and I feel really good with myself. So there's only positive energy in my head that is watching at Kvyat's case, Ricciardo's case. Obviously, you have the other thing in your mind waiting, like that can happen. But at the moment, I'm very positive, to be honest.
Good. Well, the season hasn't even started, so yeah, listen. Now, look, we're going to do a quick fire round.
Okay.
Now, you might think that this is a overused journalistic technique that people do all the time, okay, but my producers think it would make quite a fun thing and a good viral. So we're going to do it.
Let's try.
Okay.
Surprise me.
Okay. I don't know if I can surprise you with a quick fire round. There's nothing new about that. Okay. What is the best thing that you cook?
Good one. I would say pasta. I'm not a very good cook.
Pasta with what?
Bolognese.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
Something decent, at least.
Okay. What are you afraid of?
I actually realized a while, not long ago, that I was a bit afraid of really high places with glass and look like this. I feel a bit tricky for me.
You all right with injections?
I'm okay. They do me so much that at the end you get used to it.
Dear me. I want to ask you why. What makes you grumpy?
What makes me grumpy? That's a good question. Quite a lot of things. Sometimes you get grumpy sometimes, and if something comes to my mind, I will tell you. But
okay. What, the mornings, airport security queues, traffic?
I would say airport security, that line that you have to go through every time that we travel so much, is a big pain. Delayed airplanes, this gets me on my nerves a lot.
All right, that'll do. Things not to ask on a first date. I don't really understand that one. Maybe they mean, what would you say that you shouldn't ask on a first date?
Tricky one. Maybe let's go home too early. No, that you cannot say that too early for sure.
Yeah, quite right. It's all about the romance. Have you got a girlfriend, by the way, at the moment?
Not at the moment, but I've always had a girlfriend, but now I'm single and.
Okay. Ladies, handsome, look, lovely hair, Formula One driver. Can you roll your tongue? Okay, good.
Kind of.
All right, excellent. I don't know why that's significant. What was the last album you downloaded? Or single, I don't mind.
I'm starting to really like hip hop, rap music. Going back to the 90s with Notorious Big, P.I.G. I'm starting to download again.
Okay.
That kind
Retro, like it. What would be your superhero power?
Teletransport. With our job and with our nowadays, I think to be now here and be tomorrow night in Madrid like this would be.
Not necessarily throughout sort of time and history, just
Yes.
so very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Travel quickly. That's my.
Nice one. Might be possible one day.
One day, maybe. I'll help.
Your best karaoke song, or your favorite karaoke song?
Oh, tricky one. I'm not a very good singer, and I don't enjoy karaoke because of that. But if I would have to sing a song, I would love singing Kings of Leon or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Maybe Sex on Fire or something like that. Just
Yeah, something. Yeah, exactly.
I like that one. Boxers or briefs? Do you wear boxer shorts or briefs? I can't believe I'm asking this, ladies and gentlemen.
Boxers.
Okay.
Boxers.
See, in depth. What's your most annoying habit? Slightly embarrassing, sorry, but it's on the list.
My most annoying habit, probably biting my nails. I hate it, but I do it without knowing. But I managed to change it, and now I'm starting to come back on that.
Good. Excellent.
Getting improving now.
Really? It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, but because I'm living.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Three more. What's your biggest indulgence? Ice cream indulgence, like ice cream or fast cars, or you like expensive cheese or something?
Unfortunately, food in general. I mean, I'm hungry at every single time of the day. I'm obviously now in quite a strict diet now that I'm in Formula One, and it's the thing that it's more than tire management and fuel management. It's food management now, my biggest issue.
How would your friends describe you?
They say I'm too crazy and too methodical with everything.
Meticulous. Are you a meticulous person?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, so am I. My wife calls me Captain Meticulous.
Yeah, good. When they see me waking up in the morning at 7:30 and having dinners with them, and they see me leaving at 12, like, man, come on, stay a bit more. I mean, like, I have to sleep 7 hours. And,
I see you like that.
You know,
No, I'm not like that.
It kind of also in other kind of stuff. You know, I'm meticulous.
Okay, good. And last one, what is 3 cubed?
3 cubed.
Yeah, I think it means what's 3 times 3 times 3?
3
times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9.
9 times 3.
9 times 3 is 20.
9
9 times 3 is
27.
27.
For sure, yeah.
The answer's 27.
Yeah, for you.
Okay. Well, apart from that last one, I think that went better than I expected. So I think probably my producer's right. That was quite a good thing to do.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, was it?
Good.
Or was it just?
No, it was good fun.
Okay,
I mean, different interview. At the end, when you are a driver and you have, for example, 4 consecutive interviews, the 4 consecutive interviews are all with the same answer.
Yeah.
Suddenly, when comes someone like you and has just different stuff, the time goes past quicker for sure.
Okay, well, listen, talking about time, we are out of time. Chile?
Chile?
Did I get it right?
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Know Your Driver, ladies and gentlemen, with Chile Sainz. Join us after the break when we will round up. I enjoyed that, it's very good. The action from day 3 here at Barcelona. Well, welcome back to Barcelona, the second part of the Day 3 notebook. I'm with, let's meet another driver, shall we? The hardest working man in Barcelona this week, Pascal Wehrlein. Hope I pronounced that all right. Yeah.
Was close.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
right. Well,
Pascal
sorry.
Wehrlein.
Wehrlein, sorry, not Wehrlein. Okay, sorry, apologise. I was maybe overemphasising the German. It's been an amazing week for you, actually, between Mercedes and Force India. What did you get up to today, though?
Yeah, so it's always nice to be back in a Formula One car. So last year I drove twice a Formula One car, and yeah, this year first time with Force India, first time with the new Mercedes car. So yeah, it was really good.
And what have you been able to help Force India out with today?
Yeah, we were driving with the last year's cars, so they had already a lot of experience with that car. So it was easy to. Yeah, if we had some problems to solve it and to know what we should do. So we were just trying to improve the setup, to run through our program and get the maximum out of the day.
Okay, Pascal, thank you very much. I know you've got to go and see the engineers, so danke schön. You're not in too much of a hurry. No? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, slightly. I wonder if he heard me mispronouncing his name in the Day 1 notebook. That's slightly embarrassing. He actually used Lewis's seat, interestingly. He didn't have a seat made for him at Force India. So when he did the first day... Sorry, he didn't have a seat made for him at Mercedes, despite being their test driver, which is slightly odd. So he used Lewis Hamilton's seat in the Mercedes. I don't know whose seat he's using at Force India. Maybe Force India have made him a seat over there. But look at him, he's a nice chap, isn't he? He's doing DTM this year, so saying hello to some friends or family, I'm not sure. So yeah, that's Force India. Let's rack it through. So Wehrlein did, he did 81 laps today. So as you say, I think he will probably end up as one of the highest mileage drivers here this week, having done Day 1 for Force India and Mercedes, and then Day 2 a bit for Force India. No, he didn't, as Perez, and then he did Day 3 for Force India as well. Anyway, quickly on Mercedes, there they are, just down here, not much going on. I can tell you Lewis Hamilton was P3. You would have heard his interview already with Rachel, 101 laps. Something you might not have heard or might not have seen, but you will see in Melbourne, is that they've gone with the central console arrangement for the engineers in the garage. This is something that McLaren devised a few years ago, and it's sort of half touchy-feely in order to get the engineers, you know, closer together, and half real-time useful engineering benefit because it brings everybody just closer. Because before, all Hamilton's engineers, as you look at the garage, were looking at the screens on their side of the garage, and then the others were, were on Rosberg's guys were on their side of the garage, if you see what I mean. So now they're not. They're all round a sort of huddled around a central console in the middle. So, you know, that will be interesting, won't it, when the championship hots up, and inevitably, probably it's going to be between Hamilton and Rosberg again. Their engineers are going to be right next to each other, face to face, well, across some computers. But Paddy Lowe says, we're a bit late to the party with this one, but we will catch up and make it work better for us than other teams have it. Pretty much all the teams have that kind of layout now, something that McLaren came up with. So that's Mercedes. I forgot to do Williams, yesterday, so I'm sorry, I apologise, I just forgot. Sometimes it happens. So let's have a look at their truck while I tell you about them today. So Frank Williams has been in the house, by the way. They did lots of laps and a few lap times, but not too many complete laps because it's been a bit wet here today. They were practicing pit stops. So Bottas did 48 laps and a P9 and about 48 pit stops as well, and Massa did 55 laps for a P7 and lots of pit stops for him as well. They were talking about the engine, interestingly, this Mercedes engine. Massa was saying he could feel that they've made improvements from Jerez to Barcelona, but they believe they'll have more improvements to the engine for the next test. So that's intriguing, isn't it? Just wondering whether on a sort of different engine program to the Works Mercedes team. But I'm just fascinated to see, excuse me, whether, you know, when Williams are going to come to the party, because with Red Bull's problems with Renault, which I'll tell you about in a minute, I think the order has changed. I think the order is now Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Williams question mark. Where do Williams fit in that competitive order as we stand at the moment? That's what I'm really interested to see. So hopefully we'll get an answer maybe at the next test. Sauber, there's a problem with gearboxes. They had a gearbox fail on the first day, on Thursday, and then another one went at the end of yesterday, and that left them with no more gearboxes. So they couldn't run at all this morning while they waited for a new one to be rushed in a transit van from Hinwil into here in Barcelona. It eventually arrived, and they fitted it in the morning. They got out for the afternoon session, so it was a bit of a messy day for Sauber, but they did 50-odd laps. So Marcus Ericsson, that's his last day of this particular test. Felipe Nasr is in the car tomorrow. Let's do McLaren. Can you see family Alonso in there, Si? I think you can at the back. The gentleman with a shock of white hair is his dad, and the lady just behind him is Alonso's mum in the sort of beige jacket. Yeah, you got him. You've got him. Well done. So not a good day for McLaren. And again, Jenson Button getting the worst of the luck. P10, last of all, slowest of all, only 24 laps with a bit of a smoky end to the day. After the morning session, another problem came with the seal on the KERS. The MG UK, the motor generator unit K, the one that runs off the crankshaft of the engine. Another seal went, and this was meant to be the redesigned seal, the fixed seal, which was supposedly of better quality than the one that failed the other day. But it now seems that they need to re-engineer this redesigned seal. That's the way they put it, McLaren. We need to re-engineer it. So, okay, they've got the material right, but they haven't somehow got the... Anyway, it's a seal, for heaven's sake. Probably only cost a £5, I've said, and it's, you know, compromising their winter. So it's just fiddly things. Frustrating for McLaren. So they were limited to no KERS, but they could do some work in the afternoon at least. But I think Alonso's back in the car tomorrow. I think that's it for Button, so unlucky for him. Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel came in towards the end and gave a little wave to his old Red Bull mechanics, which I thought was quite nice as they were preparing to bring a car out. But they did some good laps, P5, 105 laps. You would have heard, hopefully, some quotes from Vettel just in the programme before. Sergio Marchionne was here, the chairman of Ferrari, the president of Ferrari, and of the Fiat Chrysler Automotive. And he was talking about the changes. He said there's no rush in F1 strategy for the changes for 2016. Let's think about it and do it for 2017 if we're going to do it at all. This thing about, 1,000 horsepower, and it's okay, it's all right, you don't need to go anywhere, don't worry. But we didn't need a superstar in the engineering department. There's Jos the boss and his daughter, Max's sister. And we didn't need a superstar, in brackets. Well, I took that to be Adrian Newey he was talking about. We had the people we needed in Ferrari all along. But Marchionne said it won't be in Barcelona, perhaps, that we can win races. At least I think that's what he said. It was in Italian, but I got a translation of it. Toro Rosso, it was good to meet Gilly Sainz earlier, wasn't it? That was good. He's a good lad. His teammate Max Verstappen was second today, 129 laps. Very happy boy. Lots of laps. He feels it's getting better. He's still getting used to the new car. He wants to build up slowly. He's got confidence. It was a tough day physically after 129 laps, but he didn't bin it. The car conked out at the end with something they saw on telemetry they wanted him to stop, but otherwise it was all okay for him. He did try the super soft tyres, but he said the super soft tyres were too soft for this circuit, so he's already spot on the tyre front. So good stuff from Max Verstappen. And let's finish with Red Bull, shall we? Let's just check. Where they were P6 and 111 laps. And I'm afraid to say it's a problem with the engines. I spoke to Christian Horner and I asked him, I said, how could it get to this point? And we're going to maybe hopefully talk to Renault tomorrow as their PR lady Lucy just walks past me. And Christian, by and large said, it is frustrating. Renault haven't come with the performance that they'd like and that we'd like to this early season, and we're not where we want to be with performance. At least we're reliable, and Kvyat just said that. If you heard my interview with him, he just said, well, at least compared to this time last year, the engine's reliable. Okay, but that's not the point, is it? It's how fast were they at the end of the season, which was, on good days, it was second of the best of the rest, wasn't it, to Mercedes, where Williams would probably argue with that, and rightly, they were maybe behind Williams. But now they've got reliability, but they've lost performance. And it's Mario Ilian is an interesting little sidebar to this story. Because as we reported towards the end of the season, Mario Ilian, the man behind Ilmore with Paul Morgan, of course, and sort of an engine genius, has joined forces, because he's a mate of Adrian Newey's, with Red Bull to work with Renault on the engine to try and, kick some behind and actually get things going on there. But because Renault made the decision to appoint him quite late, he hasn't got everything going yet. So it's going to be some time before we see the Ilian-inspired improvements coming forward for Renault, and therefore for Red Bull, and indeed for Toro Rosso. It's going to happen later in the year. So it looks like we might have, an underpowered, not as good a power unit, an engine, as Red Bull would like for the first part of the season. And that's why I'm kind of saying that I think we've seen a change in the competitive order, significant change here in Barcelona, that Ferrari have well and truly overtaken Red Bull Racing in the competitive order. And where are Williams, whereas Mercedes are still at the top. Okay, that's it for now. I think I've done everyone. Sorry for missing out Williams yesterday. Done Red Bull, I want to check, just done Toro Rosso, Ferrari, yeah, McLaren, Force India we did with Wehrlein, Mercedes, Williams. I didn't tell you about Lotus, I knew I'd forgotten somebody. Did some aero running in the morning with Pastor Maldonado, but again, consistency. It's great, consistent car, and Maldonado is saying this once again. He's so happy with it because he can actually do the lap times again and again and again. That's its strength. They still need to find some speed. They're going to be up there with Force India and with McLaren somewhere, but McLaren actually might have the speed to overtake them eventually once they get their act together. Romain Grosjean comes tomorrow, but into the car. To drive the car, but they are a happy bunch at the moment, and we did Sauber with the gearboxes. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you for Development Corner tomorrow on the Notebook. Hey, look, dropped his pen. Hey, kid, you dropped your pen. You dropped your pen. I'll go and give it to him. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bit